Hi everybody, I hope you're all doing good. I've got a little bit of something different for you today. I thought that I would do a little video about Implanon, or Nexplanon I think it's called now. Basically a review video, because once again when I was considering getting this, just like with my braces, I really couldn't find that many reviews online, and I find it really helpful if you can get somebody's first-hand opinion of something. You know, when they've actually had their own experience and they can tell you how it went for them. I find that much more helpful than reading up on the actual website for the product, or, you know, because obviously they're just going to be self-promoting. But if you have, you know, people's day-by-day experience of something, it's much more helpful, I find, anyway. So, yeah, here we go. I've had my Implanon, or Nexplanon, as I'm really not sure what it's called now, since last November. I have had a generally very good experience with it, I have to say. I did hear bad things about it, but it was absolutely fine for me. I'm going to show you in a minute my arm, like where it is and everything like that. But in order to get it, basically all I did was went to the doctor and asked for it. You know, the reason I got it was because I was really rubbish at remembering to take the pill every day. My memory is really bad. If I were an animal, I swear I would be a goldfish. My memory is pretty bad. So, well, that combined with the fact that I work shifts and I'm never, like, I don't have a proper routine to be able to remember something like clockwork, I just gave up on the whole idea of taking the pill. So I just asked for it and they gave me a prescription. I took that to the pharmacy and they give you the implant, which comes in its own little applicator. Unfortunately I don't still have that because, you know, after they insert it they throw it away. But it comes in its own little applicator with a needle, like a hollow needle on the end. The needle is probably about this long and it's quite wide, it's quite thick. It does look quite scary when you look at it, but you don't feel it because they numb you up, so it's fine. So it comes in its own little applicator and everything. Then you take that back to the doctor and the doctor puts it in for you. So I'll show you now my arm, where they put it in, how they put it in. I put little markings on my arm to make it easier to explain, so that you can see properly how things went. So basically here, where there's the circle, you probably can't see it because the scar is so tiny now. It's been months, obviously. So the scar is right there. It's like, it's not even pea-sized, it's so tiny. So this is where they put it in, basically. And oh, maybe I should have made the lines a bit bigger. Basically, here is where the implant starts, more or less, and here is where it ends. And the dots are where they put the numbing injections before they put it in for you. So basically they do 4 numbing injections along here, then they leave you for a little while, obviously, for it to actually get numb. You can request before they actually do the jabs to have some numbing cream, which I did because I'm a bit of a wimp with needles. So if they do those 4 jabs, they leave you for maybe 5-10 minutes or something, and then they, it's kind of like a tampon applicator, I guess, in the way that they put the implant into your arm. It kind of just goes like this and comes out of the end of the needle because it's a hollow needle that they use to put it in. So they just they place the needle a little while before they actually want the implant to be in, because it's quite a long needle, you see, and the implant has to come out of the end of it. So they put the needle in first all the way over here. The needle reaches quite far, and then the implant would poke out of the end of it, kind of under your skin, and then as they pull the needle out, they're leaving the implant behind, if you understand what I'm saying. So, yeah, the needle goes in here, and then the implant is only about that long, and it's very thin. It's just like it's a thin stick, really thin. So, I mean, obviously the jabs are not that pleasant. I can't say that they really hurt, but they hurt enough to put me off ever getting a tattoo in this area. But yeah, that really wasn't so bad. I just closed my eyes and went to my happy place, and it was over before I knew it. One thing that they did have a struggle with was apparently my skin on the inside of my arms is quite tough or something. You wouldn't think so because that's quite a delicate area skin-wise, but apparently it was quite difficult for them to get the needle into my skin, so I did have to bear with them while they were trying to push it in. It did take about 5 minutes to get it through the skin, so that was probably the worst part of it all, just the suspense of knowing that they're trying to push a needle through your skin is a little bit, it could be a bit much to take for some people, but because I knew I really wanted it, you know, I was just like, you know, just get through it, you'll be in soon, and then you don't even have to worry about anything. So after they do that, they put a bandage on it for you, and you have to keep the bandage on for a couple of days because it is a hollow needle. Unfortunately, gross as it sounds, it does leave a little hole in your arm. So you need to keep the bandage on while the little hole like fills in and heals. Excuse me. So you just leave that on a couple of days. You try not to get it wet and, you know, the usual kind of thing when you have a bandage on. And then you can take it off after that. And what I did was just to be very sure that it didn't get any muck in it or anything like that. After I had the surgical bandage thing off, I just used normal plasters and I made sure I covered it all the time anyway, just because I'm a bit paranoid like that. So, but it's fine, you know, and it healed fine. For a while I had like a little pink dot, but now it's gone completely. You can't even see it. One thing I would say about mine is that perhaps due to the fact that it was hard to push the needle through my skin, mine has ended up a little bit deeper than they usually are. Usually they sit right under the skin, so you could push on your skin like that and it would kind of poke out and you could see it, but mine's a bit deeper, so you can't really do that with mine. When it comes to taking them out, all they do is basically where it would be about here, where the implant starts, they would make a little incision, probably about the size of the line that I've drawn here, and then they just kind of push the implant out and drag it with tweezers or, you know, whatever surgical implement they have. But yeah, they basically just make a little incision, pull it out. I think maybe they do 1 stitch, and then that's it, you know, it's out. And usually when you have it out, you can conceive straight away if that's what you're wanting to do, obviously, but it doesn't have any adverse effects. You know, if you want to try for children, when you have it out, you can do that straight away. As far as how long it lasts, it actually lasts for 3 years, which I think is amazing. Cost-wise, I suppose there's not really much point in me going into that because it's bound to be different in different countries. For me, it was about £125, if I remember correctly. And then the insertion, I didn't really pay for that because I have private health insurance, but I'm sure that's not very much. Maybe it's like £50 or something, just speculation, but that's what I would guess. But yeah, overall I've had a really, really good experience with it. The first 4 months I would say were a bit dodgy. They do say though that it can take up to 6 months to settle, and for something that's going to last you 3 years, I really don't think that's too bad. But yeah, the first 4 months were a little bit dodgy. I was a little bit crampy, and I had spotting quite a lot. For the first month actually there was nothing, and then for the 3 months after that I was a bit crampy and I would get spotting like almost every day, if not every day, every other day. But nothing heavy. By the way, this video is definitely not for boys to be watching, so if any boys are watching, get out. But yeah, just a bit of spotting here and there, and like nothing bad really. People say that they have gained weight due to this and things like that. I haven't experienced any side effects whatsoever, and as I say, after 4 months it's been plain sailing after that. I haven't had any periods at all, because the way that the implant works is actually to stop, okay, I don't know the technical language for this, but it basically stops the lining of the womb from building up each month. So you still have a cycle and it doesn't affect that, but it basically, you don't get a period, or you barely get a period, because it stops the build up, which is in fact the period. So I haven't had any, and I'm loving that, I have to say, considering it's summer and everything. You know, you don't have to worry about going to the beach and all of that kind of thing. So I'm really, really happy that I decided to get it, and I really would recommend it to anybody who's thinking of trying it. And if it's not for you and it doesn't go very well, then all you need to do is go to the doctor and they'll take it out for you, and it's just a 5-minute procedure to get it taken out. So I really would say that it's worth it. It's worth at least trying if you're like me and you don't remember the pill, or you basically don't like the other contraceptive methods that are out there. But yeah, I think that's just about it. I don't think there's anything else that's important that you would need to know. If I think of anything, I'll add it in the comments below. And if you think of any questions, anything you'd like to know, then obviously just comment or send me a message and I'll be happy to reply as soon as possible. So I hope that my review of Implanon or Nexplanon has been helpful, and good luck in making your decision. See you later.